2024, all eyes landed on the 2-year-old trotting colt, Marilyn. Taking home top honors, he now looks to return in 2025 with Hambletonian dreams. We take a look at Melander's star pupil and a few others that he has coming from his barn of powerhouse trotters.
Marcus, it's always nice to catch up with you here in the spring. Shocker, it's raining this morning here in New Jersey. You blamed me, but you know what? The track still seems super. Catching up with you with your 3-year-olds coming back for our top contenders. Let's start with Marilyn, the guy behind us, 2-year-old trotter of the year. Tell us a little bit about Marilyn last year.
Last year was just, unbelievable year for him. Started out good, but then really, for the William Wedlood final, he showed how good he was, and after that, it was just, he showed up every week.
Bankrolled over 1.2 million, of course, put him in all of those big dances, and he showed up. How did you feel after you took home that Mohawk Million?
It was exciting, but at that point, it was so much pressure on him too, so then you kind of, he was the heavy favorite after those 2 races at Woodbine and Hoosier, so it's a lot of pressure on those races as well.
Mm-hmm.
When you won the Wellwood, it was 30-1 or something like that, and he had the 9-hole, like no one really cared or whatever, but it's more a pressure relief or whatever you say when you win like a race like that. You can't really enjoy the moment right away. It maybe takes a couple of minutes or so.
Now, watching him have the 2-year-old campaign he had, watched him train here today, he looks so sharp. I don't think you could be happier seeing a colt like him coming back at 3 already in April.
No, I mean, he looks good. He filled out very nicely. He grown a lot, so still, about 2 months away before he's going to race, but so far I'm very happy with him.
One thing I loved watching him go out there, you had him on the front through most of the training in there, and then you did have him on the back little. His ears are always going. It's always like he's just waiting to be asked for his next move.
I do that with all horses, I kind of, so I can oversee them all. So I started in the back, and then the last 4 intervals, I went to the front with.
Dexter Dunn, the regular pilot on him, just becoming a regular pilot for you on quite a few of them. What was the decision to start using Dexter, and what a fit for Maryland he was?
First of all, in the beginning of the year, I didn't know Brian was not going to drive at all, but we were going to do some changes, so we did that, and then, when Brian said he wasn't going to drive anything last year, it was easy, like I approached Dexter early in the year there, and I said to him I was going to put him up on almost everything, as much as he can drive, but it's also hard, to get a guy like Dexter because he has his barns he's been driving for several years, and I haven't used him that much.
When we talk about Maryland, I've seen you year after year. We're here to talk about the 2-year-olds, the 3-year-olds, but you with Maryland, you have a different look in your eye with this colt, Marcus, and tell us how special he is. And another question is, do you feel any pressure still, even now, year after year, with a colt like him coming back at 3, making that jump up?
I mean, obviously, it's going to be a lot of pressure on these kind of horses, when he made over $1 million last year, won all the big races. So, I mean, it is what it is. He's going to have all his eyes on him when we're getting to the qualifiers and the races. And, it's going to be a lot of opinions, why do you don't do that? Why do you do that? Or whatever. But, I think we have a pretty clear way how we're going to start. We're probably going to start qualifying him at Meadowlands, and then we're going to Vernon for his first race in June 13.
And of course, training him for the Caranta Incorporated owner that's been with you throughout the years. You guys have had so much success. Yeah,
I mean, Anders has supported us through the years. He had about 20, 25 horses here. So, I mean, he buys a lot of yearlings every year. So, I mean, of course, it's. I'm very happy that we have this horse together. We're several partners. I'm a partner on him, and it's just fun year last year, and hopefully this year again.
Now, Marcus, I've seen just about everything I've thought in this business, but I hadn't seen it all till today. He actually literally has stuffed animals in his stall. Tell us a little bit about the stuffed animals and quite a few of them in your barn here. Is that something new in the Melander stable?
I don't know. You have to ask the girls, But he seems to like them. He seems to enjoy them. So I don't know. It's more the girls.
Moving on, Super Chapter, another Chapter 7 colt. He looks super, just a kind of a step behind Marilyn last year. But he looks super training today.
Yeah, he looks great. He's coming back great. He had a great season as well. He little bad trip during the British Crown, and or bad trip. You know, he got a good trip, but it was hard to get, gain something. In the end of the stretch there, he finished 5th, and then he finished the season. He had a great year. You know, he was a fast horse, and he's coming back great. So he'll have a good year.
Now, looking at the shoes that a lot of the horses have here, you said that you're specific to your 3-year-olds. They're almost like a pad with a little bit of grab on it. Tell a little bit about those shoes.
Yeah, usually like wintertime we use that because it gets. Sometimes in the morning, even if the track's good, it can be a little bit hard underneath. So we use them on the older horses. Just get a little bit more cushion or whatever you say, and it's good for their knees and stuff like that. So we've been using that the last couple of years, 4 or 5 years.
Moving on to Mishuga, another colt here. He's a green shoe, of course. Now he's a lot bigger than Maryland and Super Chapter. You must have been impressed with him. You did give him a shot in the Mohawk Million last year. He finished 3rd.
He was racing good, like in the beginning of the year, we thought, he really stepped up his game, and he had a great year, won the Star Stakes final. Great year overall, 3rd in the Mohawk Million, and then unfortunately he made a break in the British Crown final, and after that we turned him out. So he's gonna, start racing a little bit earlier since he has the Pennsylvania Star Stakes, and but he's coming back great. He filled out, grown a lot, so yeah. When
you're comparing the 3 colts, I think we know Maryland is far number 1, but when you take Super Chapter and Mishuga, where do you kind of put those 2 in the order?
I think maybe Super Chapter right now, what they showed, he's probably a faster horse, a quicker horse than Mishuga was at least last year. So, probably ranked him like that, Maryland and then Super Chapter and Mishuga. But, it's a new year, and, a lot can happen with these, when they turn from 2 to 3.
Moving on to the fillies, 2 fillies we want to focus on here. Luna Lovegood, the daughter of your chimpanzee star, got a lot of the markings of her dad with the back white on her legs and of course the white on her face. She's for an uncle, Stefan was co-breeder on her. Tell us a little bit about Luna Lovegood's last year and how you like her here.
She had a great season last year, fastest 2-year-old filly, and she got a little sore in the end of the year there. Unfortunately, she made a break there in the final of the British Crown after a great elimination, and then she finished 3rd in the Goldsmith, but it was late in the season, and she probably wasn't at her best, but she still finished 3rd, so she's coming back good. So since she's a chimpanzee in Kentucky Terrier, they don't have that much races in the beginning of the year, so her first race are not late June or beginning of July.
Royal Mission, a filly we got to watch train here today in the big set. You thought enough of her, she's a New York bred as well, but you thought enough of her to put her up on the big stages. How do you think she stood up against the other fillies?
I think she's, she finished 3rd in the Jim Doherty, and then, she raced good up in Canada in the elimination there for the big race up there, and got a little grab in the final, but other than that, she had a great season. She got a little tired in the end of the year. British Crown was a little bit late, and she got a little tired. But she's coming back great. We'll start her in the New York circuit, and then hopefully she's good enough to race against the best ones.
Marcus, wishing you the best of luck in 2025.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm awfully glad I won.
The Hambletonian, it's one of the most prestigious races.
It's quite a thrill. This is one of the biggest thrills of my life.
We delivered. The horse delivered. It was amazing. I can't believe it.
I am stunned. I'm absolutely stunned.
This is obviously the pinnacle.
It's just something that I can't explain.
This is just an absolute dream come true.
It feels good now, but I'm sure it's going to feel even better tomorrow.
For me to do it, this is my moment.
I might have got a little excited.